Welcome anybody joining. We're still getting set up here. Give me just a few moments. Hey, welcome back, Brown Dwarf. Bigfoot World's here. If you guys can hear me, we'll be getting going here in a minute. I am sorry I'm running late tonight. I'm gonna try something a little different tonight. I don't have the music going, and I'm gonna try to maybe bring up a couple images that we can talk about if I can get this to work. We'll see how it goes. This image that we're looking at right now, again, unfortunately, I can't zoom in on these, but we're looking at a small cave opening with what is obviously a very large face, kind of almost taking up the entire opening of the cave. And I'm calling it a cave. Actually, it would be more of like a, almost looks like a dug, like a lookout, you know? Like he's standing in a cavernous thing and he's just looking out to see whatever there is to see out there. And 10 people in the house already, and I did not even get to announce this tonight. I was really busy. No regrets. I was having a wonderful dinner with my wonderful girl, and I got back late, so I didn't have a chance to set anything up. So we're gonna wing this one. Wing it real hard. Old Coral Beef's in the house. We ended up driving for 2 hours trying to find a place that wasn't incredibly crowded, and we ended up in Palm Coast at a pizza place called the Bronx House, and we had some really good pizza and a Greek salad. So no regrets. We got some nice time together. Yeah, it is actually. There's one in Port Orange, and I didn't even know there was one in Palm Coast. We just ended up going there out of desperation for the need of food, and every other place just being stupidly packed. Um, Everywhere in Florida right now, at least where I am, Central Florida, it's insane with all the transplants coming in. I'm gonna try to. I don't even know if you guys are getting a solid look at the images on the screen, but I'm gonna try to change them up a little bit. Maybe give you guys a look at something you may not have seen before. And stop shaking the device. That'd be great. Brown Dwarf, remind me, I forget where you're from. I want to say Wisconsin. I wouldn't stake my reputation on that, but let's see. Also, Kathy, I want to ask you as we're narrowing into the conference, um, how is that going to work? Do you know? Like, I know that you said that you're graciously um sponsoring us getting in, getting our passes. Is that going to be like a? Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Brown Dwarf. I had you mixed up with someone else. Um, are they going to be like in lanyard form? Do we need to like go to a will call to pick them up? Do you have any clue how that's going to work? I'm just curious. I'm a planner. Tickets will be at will call. That's great, and that's really convenient. Um, I am going to do my best to be there by 9:30. So I hope to catch you right before you go on. Um, but you know where we're traveling from, so we'll do our best to be there in a timely manner. If you guys are curious at all about the image right now, I believe I want to say this one is Swan Lake. Kathy, everybody knows it's J Mac. No, I will. I will. I'll message you beforehand. Brown Dwarf. So being from the county where Patty was filmed, I mean, I know you're. I don't know. I can't swear that you're not that old, but I don't know if you were there or alive during that time period. But anyway, do you have any like sort of, I don't know, insider insight that other people don't know about Patty or about Robert Patterson, um, about Bob Gimlin? Yeah, I got you, Kathy. I'll message you after this. Speaking of Dr. Meldrum, I don't think he didn't film this or anything, but this is from a very interesting documentary. Oh, and the name eludes me. It's something about the Yeti, and he was a big part as far as narration and things like that. It's a really good documentary, and it kind of surrounded this bit of film right here. Yeah, so you're right. There's a ton that doesn't get told about the Patty footage and what surrounded that whole thing. And first of all, one of the things that causes so much controversy is that Patterson was kind of a showman. He was like the you know the Barnum of his time, you know, and he actually drew a sketch of Patty like a year before they spotted her, and it was obviously a crude sketch. And it was terrible, but it took a little bit away from the film when people found that out. And then the other side of that is that the 35 seconds of the Patty film that you see, there's actually like an 11-minute film that goes along with it, and a lot of it is just him and Bob Gilman like riding on horseback like through this country before they get to the spot. And um, before all this had happened, the reason they were there is that there had been these claims to the Wildlife Association, to the local police, the loggers that were out there, the lumberjacks were claiming that they were getting into altercations with these forest people, these big, hairy forest people, and they were opposing them cutting down all their trees, and they were throwing rocks, and they were getting into these fights. So if you see the original film, you'll see it kind of right before the 35 seconds where you see Patty. You're going to see these big brown piles, and the conspiracy goes either it's wood, or the conspiracy is that it is bodies, that they had to go in and actually exterminate the Sasquatch. Um, they had to go in and exterminate the Sasquatch so they could continue on with their logging efforts. You know, and I don't know if I 100% believe that, but I do know that the police reports and things were real. I've seen them. So, you know, you want to add legitimacy to the Patty film, just know that she was not the first one spotted. She was only the first one filmed. Hello, Pamela. I don't know, Coral Reef. Is she from California? Maybe so. I don't have a lot of information on this picture. It does not scream real to me. It almost looks like not AI, but some form of computer art to me. I mean, if it's real, it's incredible. I don't think it is though. I could almost buy that it's a wood carving, maybe with like snow coming down or something like that. Yeah, I believe that. This, like I said, this is not a great setup. I ran in the house and just threw this together last minute. But I was hoping to add a little more depth to what we talk about here with at least some background photos that we might find interesting, but YouTube Live does not provide like a way to show like a slideshow or anything. They don't offer any sort of image support at all, and so we're kind of stuck at this time anyway until I figure out something better. Yeah, I recognize the name Pamela, Kathy. I recognize from some of the pictures and different things coming out of Bigfoot world. Um, it's very cool. Um, like I said, I'm glad you guys are opening for Meldrum. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the other one was really white coral. It was just, unfortunately this one, who knows? I don't think this was anything other than a rock, frankly. But yeah, I'm gonna go with rock on that one. It's a rock and a couple trees. I don't think it's anything. Maybe cropped to try to make it look like something, but this is weird. I don't even know. I can't remember what my commentary was on this video, but this is supposed to be a trail cam at 3:30 in the morning. But I've said it before. I'm like, I can add anything like that to a picture and call it a trail cam. Yeah, exactly. The elusive boulder people, the rock people. We will be here, brown dwarf. I got no one better, nowhere better to go. Oh, you know what, Kathy? I saw the pictures, the latest ones of your backyard, and yeah, that one picture. I think I drew some attention to it on your group. It's pretty impressive. Um, yeah, it's a little pixelated, obviously, but I mean, in comparison to some of these other pictures that are coming out that are a little more genuine, where the we're dealing with a lot of elusiveness and things like that. I'm telling you, I tend to think that when you're going out into the woods like this and you're drawing this attention to yourself, I think that you're getting visitors in your backyard. So it's pretty interesting. You need to set up some camera equipment in your backyard. I mean, if we're on the right track and that's something, I think you could come out with some really nice footage. I'm very indecisive on this picture. It kind of looks like Mr. T, with a mohawk, but I still tend to think that this is like a tree root system, like uprooted or something like that. You can see a tree knocked over there. I don't think it's a creature at all, as much as I think it's just probably some sort of wood. But I don't know. A little back and forth on that one. Well, Kathy, like I said, they may have not been there before. Like I said, I think that you're drawing some attention to yourself, and honestly, like I said, I don't want to just like say that to scare you, but it's like you're drawing some attention to yourself by the attention of these creatures or whoever else, and it seems like they're getting curious and they're following you, um, or something to that effect. Possibly, scent is leading other creatures. I don't know. Something's going on though, and now, like I said, it's happening in your own backyard, and that's wild to me. So I don't even know what to say about that. Exactly, coral reef. Seriously, I pity the fool. And it does though, right? It looks just like Mr. T. Kathy, is there a water source near you? Out of curiosity? I would love to move this to where this stops shaking. So forgive me for just a minute. Let me try to adjust this. I think that's going to be a little better. Try not to get pictures of my family in the shot there. Okay, I think that's going to stop the shaking. All right, that works. Yeah, so I'll tell you what. Most most encounters that you're going to hear about are going to be coupled with a body of water. And I mean, that just makes sense, right? Yeah, this picture is a little ridiculous if you ask me. But I'm going to show it anyway. I don't know how that's coming across on everyone else's thing. It's coming across terrible on mine, but it very much looks like a little boy in a suit. I don't know how else to say it, but then you have two deers that are staring at it. They're not running. I don't know. This picture still baffles me. I think it's like it screams fake to me. Like it's fake. It's fake. But then again, there's other little nuances about it that I don't know. Is it? Is it terrifying? I mean, it's yeah. If anything, it's a juvenile Sasquatch. But I, I don't know. I tend to lean towards not real, but it's hard for me to. I can't pin it down and say this is why it's not real. It just doesn't scream real to me. It yells fake. But the animals in the picture, every time there's an animal in the picture, it makes you turn your head because how are they reacting? Why are they reacting? What are they looking at? Like, I don't know. It's strange. How do they get this shot? I really I don't know. It's weird to me. Yeah, it's bright. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. Whoa. I don't know if I can actually fix that, but let's try that maybe. Probably not much better. So if you guys, like I said, Kathy, I don't know if you guys had the opportunity. Yeah, closer. I can go a little closer. That's about it, though. That's about it right there. Um, I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to ever go back and check out the was it the second Bigfoot and Booze? We never did another one. We did went a different direction. I never went back to that segment, but that story was about the guy in Paisley, which is right on Highway 42, that just straight up had a Bigfoot story. He said he was a skeptic, never believed in such a thing, and then he was just basically accosted by one while his car got stuck in white sand down those dirt trails, and it's an incredible story. And when they went to go investigate, because he reported it to the BFRO, so they have investigators that are local. And when the investigator went out there, he said that about 30 yards into the tree line where the creature came from, there was a creek that ran through there. You know, so like I said, every time you hear about a Bigfoot, there was a body of water right nearby. Yeah, dig back on our channel, like maybe last June, July, and you'll see it's called Bigfoot and Booze. Like I said, I did two of them. I did one with a story from Idaho that was really good, or is it Indiana? It was Indiana. And then I did the one from Florida, which was also a really good story. I've thought about picking that back up, but it's just honestly those videos take like, I don't know, 3 hours to make, and then you get like 500 views, and it's just like it doesn't really weigh out, you know, as being worth it. Those are the videos for the more diehard people that really enjoy the subject, you know. Yeah, please do go check it out. You can welcome to hit me up and tell me your thoughts about it. Tell me how you thought the story was. I mean, it's I thought it was really interesting, and I obviously try to tell the story the best I can. Um, I read the story, you know, and I just sort of cherry picked a, you know, I don't know, 10-minute story out of what I read, and it was a really good story, and the guy is highly credible. Like, if you read the story, the guy has no reason to lie and come out and tell a story like this, you know. So. Oh, I didn't even say anything about this picture. This picture is CGI. Okay, that's just all there is to it. Yeah, no, seriously, Kathy, if you know where Deerhaven is, right there off of 42 before you get to Paisley. If you go down Deerhaven Road, it if you continue on that road and don't make any turns, it turns into a county road, which is nothing but a it's like a what do you call it, like a 4x4, like ATV trail. And this guy took his car back there, thinking it would be all right because he wanted to go on a nature hike, and his car, you know, if you know anything about Florida white sand, I mean, he sunk, and once you're stuck, you're pretty well stuck. And he ended up getting pulled out of there by a passerby, but not before getting accosted by a skunk ape. So it's a really interesting story. If you watch the video, for this is for both of you, if you watch the video, you'll see that I marked it on Google Maps and Google Earth, and I show exactly, going by the guy's description, I show exactly pinpointed where it should have happened. It would be easy for you to access, you know, with that car that you have. Yeah, I think you could get in and out of there no problem. Harvey Weinstein. Wow. That's good with you. Welcome. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move forward past this picture, but this is just AI pictures. This is what they do. You can kind of tell how it's like blurry around the edges and everything is kind of smooth. It's just a fake picture. There's no way around it. And these guys on TikTok, they love to grab these pictures and be like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And it's nothing. There's nothing there. It's just fake, fake, fake. Double fake. Ah, yes. The, the, the elusive dog man. So, this is the quality of pictures that we get for dog man. I forget who posted this. I want to say it was from, anyway, it was from a dogman group, but the dogman pictures are always so terrible. Some blurry ass, like, just it's a terrible picture, and you don't even like. Okay, so if the guy himself saw this creature somewhere, then he could say, "Oh yeah, it was a dog man because I saw it." Okay, well then he takes a picture of it, and I mean, it looks like, what is that? It could be an aborigine. It could be. I don't think it's a tree stump. I definitely think it's like a person, a humanoid, a creature, or something. But to say that it's a dog man, who knows? I have no idea what that is. Rizzy and the Hizzy. Yeah. Okay. What else? This is cool. This is neat. I think, yeah. Well, I obviously reviewed all these on the channel, but so you got a deer and you're catching the tapetum lucidum in the eyes on both creatures. Obviously, there's a creature behind it, and you can kind of make out the cone-shaped head and I'm gonna call it a muzzle for lack of a better word, but basically the mouth that protrudes out a little bit, kind of ape-like. I wish there was more context to this picture. Like, it doesn't even have the markings of a trail cam, but it certainly looks like it would be. So, like, heading into summertime, I'm kind of curious. What is not so much a skunk ape. I think we kind of get the idea about a skunk ape, but what does a Sasquatch do during the summertime? I mean, if they're cave dwelling people, I don't, you're not going to see them as much during this time of the year. I can't imagine. Obviously, they still have to come out and hunt, but I'm thinking that they're more of a winter creature. I mean, really, like, especially here in the South, like, who wants to be out in the summertime? But I'm thinking that it's so detrimental to the skunk apes to be near water because that's got to be one of the main ways that they keep cool. Right. That's why you're going to find the creeks, the lakes, you know, I mean, 7 out of 10 stories about Sasquatches. I was fishing, I was by the lake, I was on a boat, I was here, I was there, and they're always near the water. And why wouldn't they be? Food source, hydration, temperature regulation. Everything revolves around water. Right. And, I mean, I don't know how many caves there are in Florida, but you're absolutely right. In these cave systems, these massive cave systems in the United States that we have not explored. We've explored like 5% of all the cave systems in the U.S. Because they're inaccessible or because there's only so many people that are crazy enough to go down in those things. I saw the descent. I'm not going ever. Mole men that's a real thing, and I'm not going. So, Kathy, you're fearless, and that's great. Good for you. I'll leave that stuff up to you, and I will report about your findings on the channel in the next video that I do, but I will not be there with you. So, oh, yeah, well, good luck. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to knock me out first. I am, yeah. Mm-mm. I don't mind going out in the forest, out in the woods, and doing that sort of research, but to actually go into a cave, um, I've done it before with Q. She somehow convinced me to go into a cavern in Tennessee, and it was the worst experience of my life. But at the same time, it was also life changing to know that I could actually accomplish something like that and come out on the other side was crazy to me. Because when you get into the cavern, after your 400 stairs up and down in a crouched hallway, all made out of rock, once you get to the stopping point, I don't know, a mile in the cave, at that point they instruct you that, well, there's only one way back out, and that's the way we came. So then you turn around and start back the other way. And what a nightmare. But I made it through it, and I was very proud of myself, and I've been more adventurous since then, but not to just go, spelunking down some random cave. Not gonna happen. But I did go to Ruby Falls in Tennessee, and that was absolutely fantastic. If you ever get the opportunity to go, you go. I don't know I think it was like 180 feet below ground, and there's like a 45-foot waterfall. Very, very cool place. But yeah, absolutely. Pam, there's actually there's some decent footage out of Mayaka. We did a video on it. I don't know, a while ago, maybe 6 months ago. Um, I'm wondering how things are going down there now after the storm. The storms plural, and I hear most of it is inaccessible at this point. Now that doesn't mean that it's inaccessible to them, but I am wondering how things are going down there. It's an interesting situation. Definitely enough wild hogs to sustain diets, that sort of thing. But yeah, I've seen video of Mammoth Cave, and I think there's only so much of it you're allowed to go into, right? Yeah, I don't know. Ruby Falls is a little more manicured, so it's a little more user friendly to get in and get out. But the one in Tennessee that we went to was not manicured. I'm not gonna say at all, because there were stairs built inside of there, like stone stairs, but it just it was a nightmare, especially if you're claustrophobic, like me. Speaking of caves, that is what we were looking at right here. There's two big yellow arrows pointing. I don't know if you guys can see those on your screen or not, but they are pointing to the cave, and then they are pointing up to a tree. So, yeah, there's that. That is nothing. Ah, this is a cool picture. I think you guys can see this one really well too. This situation is allowing for dark pictures, but not the bright ones as much. Kathy, you know Snuffy Dyer. This is his picture. In fact, we had him in here. He was in here. Well, you were probably here. He was in here a few shows ago, after we had showed this picture on our latest compilation video. He was really happy that somebody had recognized it. So the weird thing about this picture is, first of all, that he spotted it at all, because I don't know where he lives in, New Mexico, I believe, right? So he's kind of in the desert, rocky outcrop, that sort of thing. That's what this picture is. He took a picture of a rock, and yeah, everyone was so scared that he like went out in the woods and got himself killed, and he just went on a trip and didn't tell anybody, you know. So I thought it was a little funny. Not funny, the level of concern. I mean, great that everyone's concerned, but he was just out having a good time, and everybody was terrified that he had died or something. But so he zooms in on this picture. This is like kind of a hole at the bottom of this rock formation. He zooms in on this thing, and he gets this picture. And I took this picture, and I did some messed around with the contrast on it, and just did a little bit of lighting here or there, raised this, lowered that, nothing major. And this face starts to emerge, and it's got, you can kind of see if you imagine you're looking at a side profile, you got like the nose, you've got these like really sharp teeth in the mouth, and then you've got the eyes, and goes on to be a forehead and different things. I wouldn't even speculate what this thing is. A friend of the show, Ryan from Monster Radio, was quick to speculate that this was just pareidolia, and I know that pareidolia is a thing, and I know that a lot of times it is, faces are mistaken. That people believe they see a face and they really don't, and that's called pareidolia. Now, you could argue all day whether pareidolia is a real thing or not. I'm not going to get into that argument. Let's just call it scientific fact at this point, that pareidolia is real. So, that being said, you could argue that this is pareidolia, but this looks, to me, it looks like there's too much detail in the face for it to be pareidolia, so I'm going to go with this is a real creature. I don't know what the creature is. I mean, if you ask Snuffy, it's a demon, it's, you know, hey, Ryan's here, speak of the devil and he shall appear. So, yeah, like I said, if you look at this face, now Snuffy will tell you that it's some sort of demonic creature. I myself am not going to go that far. You know, I'm just not going to do that. That's too far out in left field for me to even, you know, get into. But I definitely think that we could argue that there is some sort of discernible face here. Oh, Ryan's here. Ryan's always a good time. Ryan, I just got through listening to one of your podcasts, I believe, about the Gugway. And yeah, that was interesting. And I didn't know that there was a subsect of Bigfoot that were supposedly more ape-like, including the you have to help me. It was the Beast of 6 Points or something to that effect. I know that picture is in one of my videos somewhere. The one that looks like it's holding a little dog. Um, that's an interesting picture. Yeah, 7 shoots. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm gonna move on from Snuffy's picture. I personally don't think that one is pareidolia, but that is just my opinion on that one. Kathy, this one's out of your group. I forget who posted this one, but this one is, I'm almost positive this one is out of your group. Yeah, you know, Ryan, I've heard every explanation that it was a rock it was this, it was that. I mean, it pretty clearly looks like a creature, and it's really hard to explain this white fluffy animal under its arm. I'm like, did he take it? Is he carrying it like a snack? Did he have? Is it a pet now? I don't know. So yeah, this one came out of the Bigfoot World group, and this lady, I don't know the lady in question. I guess her name is Liz, but she posted this picture, and she said something to the effect about a juvenile Sasquatch living under her stairs. And and I when I first saw the picture, I was like, "You're kidding me! There's just come on, there's no way, right?" I was like, "That's ludicrous." So then I zoom in on the picture, and sure enough, there's a little face under her stairs. Now, whether that's a juvenile Sasquatch or not, I don't know, but it definitely looks like there's a face peeking out from under those stairs. Ryan, if they thought it was another human being, like, why did they bother taking a picture of it? I mean, what was remarkable about it other than that? If they thought, oh, there's just a guy over there, why bother? This one came out a while ago. Whoa. Florida Bigfoot had posted it. It's not his picture. I know that. I want to say, Arkansas. Arkansas sounds good. We're gonna go with that. Um, this is a cool picture. It kind of speaks for itself. It's shaped in the way that I don't think it's any sort of tree formation. Although it's hard to rule that out. But I mean, you can almost see a calf muscle. So I like this picture. I think it's real. Ryan, it doesn't matter how many pictures come out or how many videos come out or whatever. There's always going to be a room full of skeptics. Um, I ran into this guy the other day that was in another group, and he had posted some pretty legitimate photos. And he was just getting raked over the coals by trolls and skeptics and different things. And he was in one of the larger groups, the big groups that allow just anybody. And I encouraged him. I said, man, you need to get these pictures over to these groups that actually believe and actually care. Because if not, you're just going to get ripped to shreds by these people. Oh, Brown Dwarf, I would be honored. I accept anything that anyone wants to send to us. It is uh, bigfootinput@gmail.com. So very simply, bigfootinput@gmail.com. Very cool, very cool. Hey, I go out into the woods too. I just don't go as far as Bigfoot World, and you know, the woods are scary, man. But I have gone out there. It's interesting out there, especially here in Central Florida. We have all sorts of creatures out in the woods. I am stuck where I am, Kathy, but when I get the opportunity, I will jump out of here and check it out. Kathy, is this one of yours? This is either yours or Swan Lake. I think this one's Swan Lake. This is yours? That's yours. Okay, I thought, yeah. This is the one of the face between the trees. So, I mean, what an incredible catch. Look at that. Like, how can you deny the mouth and the nose and the eye sockets and the hair? I mean, it's incredible. And this came out of, your backyard in Central Florida. Not literally your backyard, I know, but this came out of the woods in Central Florida. I mean, this is a find. This is amazing. To me, this is definitive. This is proof of existence of whatever this guy is. I wish we were 100% on what we're talking about here. I mean, I hear the term forest people a lot, you know, and I hate that term because it's so broad. Is this a skunk ape? Is this a ghost? Is this some feral human? What is it? But I think being raised in Central Florida, what we experience a lot of are skunk apes. Now, to me, this one looks extremely human to be a skunk ape. But I don't know what it is, but it's something. Right. And like I said, I hear that term a lot, forest people. I don't know what that means. Maybe, again, I believe in feral humans. I think that's a thing. Are they a thing in Central Florida? I don't know. I've never really considered that. Usually, when I think of forest people or feral humans, I think of mountainous terrain, more, Kentucky, Appalachia, stuff like that. I don't think about Central Florida as being a place for feral humans. But here we are, faced with this picture. Now, the cool thing about it is, right, it is a broad term, and that's why I hate it. But what's cool about this picture is that this is someone that I know, right? And I think we can consider each other colleagues. We're not really in a profession, but we do study the same subject, right? Um, so this is someone that I personally know is not a hoax, and because look at this picture, and everyone could be like, oh well, it could be a pencil drawing, it could be a Photoshop, it could be, but I know what it is, and that's a legitimate picture. So for me, that adds this level of legitimacy that doesn't exist in a lot of other pictures that I see, right? Well, Ryan, you and I share the same opinion about feral people. I mean, I guess you could consider that forest people or, whatever. But again, I never thought that was a thing in my own backyard. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, I guess. I think what gets me about the Bigfoot World group, and mainly, Kathy being the leader of this group, is that there are consistent, impressive video and photos that come out of this group constantly. And honestly, Kathy, for that reason, I hope that you keep your location to yourself. I would hate to see it overran by enthusiasts and then these creatures go. somewhere else. Alright, we're hitting the old screensaver there. I guess we were looking at this picture too long, but it's a great picture. One of the better pictures, I think, taken lately anyway. I want to get that guy, Josh Lewis from the group. I want to sit him down and talk to him. He's got some really impressive pictures. Um, at the very least, I want to highlight some of his pictures in a video. Alright, let's see what other trouble we can get into here. I'm going to make you guys a promise. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how we can have some clear still photographs and videos to inspect during this live set during these live sessions. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I'm going to brag about myself here for a second. But these backgrounds, the backgrounds that I use for everything, for the channel itself, for the shows, for whatever else, the backgrounds, they're all made by me. Sorry if that was braggy, but it's true. I like these backgrounds. I think they're cool. And everyone that you see is custom made. Oh my God! Am I allowed? Thank you, Ryan. I've already done it. I appreciate the support and your what do you call that? Well, your allowance. I appreciate that. So. Thank you. Yeah, I like those. I don't know. I always had them in my phone, and I never had a way to like showcase them at all. So I decided to use them as backgrounds for the emblem. You know. Which, by the way, if anyone knows a real artist, I am looking for somebody to redraw something very similar to this, because this is a stock photo from the internet and a lot of people use it, and I hate that I see it here or there and I'm like, hey, that's mine, but it's not really mine. You know, I didn't create it. So I want to actually have one drawn out that is ours. So if anybody knows a good artist, send them my way. I will go check that out, Ryan. I realized the other day that I was not subscribed to your channel, and I felt terrible. And I subscribed, and I will go and explore and check that out. Thank you, Brown Dwarf. I will absolutely go check those out as soon as we're out of here tonight. And can't wait to see it. This is that one series of photos of the Sasquatch or the creature in the water that was clinging onto the rock. Did anybody have any thoughts on this one? There's like 4 photos. I can go through and show all of them. But here you see the right arm coming up out of the water. You see the left hand grasping the right bicep, and then you see hair and sort of a a little bit of a side profile of the face. When I saw these pictures, they almost seemed a little too good to be true, and I wondered if they were maybe from a movie or something. But I don't think anyone ever came back with an answer on that, as far as what they might be. I haven't seen a preview for that one, Ryan. Does it look good? Most of the cryptid movies are just crap. You know, they're so terribly made. I mean, Exists wasn't bad. You know, that was kind of cool. But the rest of them I've seen have just been awful. Awful movies. I'd like to see one Bigfoot movie that had a budget over $1,000. You know, that really had a budget, like with some good CGI and stuff like that. I think that would be neat. Like most Bigfoot movies that I've seen are all like reminiscent of those like teenage slasher movies. You know, the ones that have like too much nudity in them and like no storyline and some stupid looking villain guy in a suit, which is, you know, Bigfoot. But they're terrible. This is interesting, but like I want to say it's something, but it could be anything, you know? But I think you can kind of, you know, you can make out a face. You have to be careful here, though. This is where you ride that fine line of pareidolia and truth. I do not recall this picture. I gotta be honest. I'm terrible, and I am gonna make a pledge to get better. I need to start pinpointing and crediting where these photos come from. Sometimes I just snatch them from here or there. Sometimes they're sent to us. Some they come from all over. It's a very broad net where these pictures come from, and I do a bad job of actually pinpointing each picture. If I remember who it is, I'll say it, but I don't always remember. I was on the fence about whether this was a rock or not, a boulder. Somebody in the comments said that there's a video of this creature walking around, and I never found the video, and nor did they bother to send me a link or anything. But have you guys seen the pictures? God, and don't ask me to remember the guy's name. I have the information, and when I do the video, I will talk about the guy. I need to do some more research though. The video of the guy with the Sasquatch in a car and like on a tractor, and this guy, I mean, it's laughable right off the bat. You're like, yeah, right. No, seriously, like this is a Sasquatch in the driver's seat of a car his story was, this is on his property in some other country. His story is that they drove the car, the Sasquatch learned to drive the car, drove the car into a lake. Him and his partner Sasquatch used a tractor to pull it out of the lake. It it's a whole story. It is the craziest story, and like I said, it's right off the bat, it's laughable. You're like, this is stupid. There's no way, but this guy is dead ass serious. He's been through a lot of scrutiny, and he still stands by that fact these pictures are real. And I as much as I hate it, the pictures are a little convincing, and they're like, there's no way, it's impossible. But nothing really is impossible. It just depends on how far you're willing to let your imagination go, you know. But that video will be coming up soon. If you have not seen these pictures or you don't know who I'm talking about, fine. Stay tuned. I'll be making that video soon, and we're going to talk about it. I'm dying to know what everybody else's thoughts are on that situation. Oh, you can't even see. Hang on, I gotta move the camera here. This is the best part. So what do you guys see here? I see a right shoulder, bicep, forearm, and wrist. Very muscular. And almost has like long hair kind of cascading down to the shoulder there. And I know that the truck is not parked right next to the creature, but it's still pretty close. You got to figure, if I was standing in the back of that truck, it would probably be up to my neck, and I'm 6 foot, so I'm thinking that truck bed is at least 5 foot tall. Add another 2 to 3 feet onto this creature. This guy is 7, 8 foot tall. Thoughts? I would say there's always a chance now, in the last 5 years, there's always a chance. But AI always has that, I don't know, it just has a dirty little look to it. It just, I can always kind of pick it out. Like, oh, that's an AI photo, you know? They all just sort of have a stink to them. And I can't quite pinpoint why, but this one, it's a trail cam. The story kind of sells it a little bit. The guy was, he was telling the story about this just popped up on my trail cam. I have it there because, I don't know, something about bear coming in this property, this and that, and he caught this. So it's interesting, if nothing else. This one is Eric James. He's in some of the local groups. He's got some pretty interesting stuff. I don't think this is his best photo, but he's got some interesting photos. back to where we need to be. This one looks like he's wearing pants to me. I don't know. Looks like he has, like, I almost like think I can see a shoe. But then there's also something going on the other side of the tree. It's like an arm. It's a very bizarre picture. I don't quite understand it. I have zero context. I don't like this picture. It doesn't feel right to me. Welcome, VS. Oh man, Ryan, what are you doing? There's cans open. There's worms everywhere. Um, so I think those people are full of shit. If I'm just frank about it, I'm sorry. I know I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not trying to squash anyone's parade, but I just don't buy it. Um, can Sasquatch talk to each other telepathically? Probably not. More so in the way that animals communicate through sound and reverberations and vibrations and different things like that. Yeah, I think they can probably do things that we don't quite understand on a chameleon level. It's the same thing I feel about, can Sasquatch cloak? No, I don't think so. I think they can blend into their environment really well. He's a Jedi now, exactly. So I think they can blend into their environment, and I think that yes, they can probably communicate in ways that we don't quite understand, but telepathically, no. And the people that claim that they are speaking to them telepathically, or vice versa, I don't buy it. I don't. Sorry. I don't believe in Santa Claus either. Um, that one is too far left field for me, for my taste, my liking. I feel like this is a cutout. This is like a cardboard, like a plywood cutout or something. I don't think it's real at all. And the funny thing is saying that I sound really close-minded, and I don't mean to, because I'm very open to anything. When you have a paranormally inclined way of thinking, you tend to believe more than the average public, but I have limits. I have lines that you can't cross. Don't do that. Don't. And people get mad at me because I'm like, look, you're taking a conspiracy. That is what Bigfoot, Sasquatch, cryptid is. It's a conspiracy. It doesn't mean it's not real. It just means that it's a conspiracy. And then you want to compound it with a further conspiracy that these creatures can cloak, they can speak telepathically, they can travel interdimensionally through portals, they, they fart fire and they fight crime, and I get tired of it. Like, I really get a little worn down by the liberal thought processes that go into these creatures. We dropped from like 11 people to 4. I, it's just like a stone. I don't think that everybody was inclined to hear that conversation. They're like, this guy is ranting about something. I don't want to hear it. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go watch network television and not think about what this guy is saying anymore. Yeah, you should be open minded. You should always look at everything as a possibility and then start using your reasoning to chip away, and sort of build a defense case as to why this is most likely impossible, or improbable or whatever you want to do. But, like, again, you shouldn't just openly accept everything as a fact. Ryan, are you privy to the fact that our friend here, Bigfoot World, Kathy, is going to be opening for a certain Dr. Meldrum at the Florida Bigfoot Conference coming here this month? Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. I will be there. I'm very happy to be there. It's gonna be my second Bigfoot conference. Um, the first one was in uh, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Hello, Brandon. Welcome. I enjoyed the Gatlinburg one, and I met a lot of cool people. I actually met Scott Carpenter there. You know, whatever. Nice enough guy. And I met a few really good people there. Some good networking and stuff too. But you know who was there is that Bobo guy, James Fay or whatever. Um, I was I was not interested in meeting him. I entirely sure why. I always feel like he is just there for the $50 that he can make at the conference, you know? I don't know. Did you really? That's cool, Ryan. Where in Georgia is there a Bigfoot conference? Hey, we're doing pretty good, Brandon. Throw out into the conversation anything you want to talk about. We're trying to show some pictures here tonight, but they are low quality at best right now. I'll be swinging by the booth, Kathy, for sure. Q and I will be there. I don't know where that is, Ryan. I know Georgia pretty well. I, Never heard of it. Yeah, okay, Brandon, are you talking about the one in I don't know if it's the original, but they're in the Expedition Bigfoot in Cherry Log, Georgia has exactly what you're describing. It's about a 3 foot long feces in a glass case. I mean, not for nothing, that is a pretty long shit. you know, I mean, I don't know what creature makes that sort of coil, but if anybody is curious about this picture, this is a still from the video out of Ontario with the boaters. The video is pretty impressive, although it's raised a lot of controversy, as every video does. But decent video, and this is a still shot from it. You know what gets me, Ryan, is those people that go to Taco Bell for lunch. I'm like, what kind of psychopath goes to Taco Bell for lunch? Like dinner, yeah, okay. Drunk 2 o'clock in the morning, sure. But for lunch, I mean, you got to go back to work after that. You know, like you got another 4 hours to go. Good luck to you, I guess. I love this picture. Um, it's one of those pictures that's like kind of hard to even make out until you, but then when you see it, you can't unsee it. But if you look, that big white branch, the most prominent one that goes from left to right, right to left, it has a dip in it right in the middle. If you look right in the dip behind it, you'll see the face. And you, like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Squatchin' USA. No, no, I haven't. I don't know what that is, but I can guarantee you I watch extremely little amounts of Sasquatch related network television or network television, period. Um, you know, uh, Alaskan Bigfoot, and finding Bigfoot and looking for Bigfoot, and I don't know where Bigfoot is, and all these other. I can't watch them. They're all too contrived. YouTube. Okay, well, I'll check it out. Is it worth watching? Okay. Yeah. You know what? On your recommendation, I will check it out. I'm always down for something Sasquatch related. You know. I don't know if there's anybody. I don't know if anybody TikToks, but there's a TikTok going around right now of this guy. He had his channel for a while. It's called like Foul Mittens or something to that effect. Um, it was mainly just fishing and hunting and whatever else. But then he started, according to him, he started to get kind of stalked by this family of Sasquatch, and he said every time he turns around to face them, they disappear. but he said that he knows that they're there. He can see them out of his peripheral, and sure enough, when he panned the camera around, you can see little skitterings of movement, and that's really about it. So then he says in his last video, well, he went out because he said something was on the roof of his house, and he went out with a shotgun trying to figure out what it was. So then he goes out another time, and he's like, "Oh, they're getting loud tonight. They're out here," and he's yelling and this and that. And there is like this set of eyes in the distance, just staring at him, you know. And it's nothing definitive, but it's interesting enough. What is that? I'm sorry, Brandon. What does that mean? He rescued 20,000 Bigfoot souls. I mean, without me going and watching it myself, which I probably will, but I want to know. I can't leave the broadcast right now to go watch it. So what does that mean exactly? This is. I feel you, Ryan. I mean, I have to listen with an open mind because I want to know what that means. But immediately, I'm like, Bigfoot souls. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch this for myself to figure out what it's about. He made a portal. Okay, I'm out, dude. You know what? um, we were just talking about that. I mean, these guys that are talking about third dimensional portals, and it's too Scott Carpenter for my taste, and I'll probably still check it out just because. But yeah, that's over my head, buddy. I wonder if is this yeah, is this the same asshole Ryan, Jerry Klein? Is that the dog grooming guy? Yeah, Peter Kane, thank you. That I guess it's supposed to be satire, I guess. But that guy is such an asshole. I can't even stand it. I really can't. If it's satire, it's just not funny. And if he thinks it's real, he's a psychopath. Right. He was sexually attacked by a female Bigfoot, and and I'm quoting this guy. She started, jerking the ween, and and it goes on from there and gets even more and more ludicrous. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff sells. I mean, even the Peter Kane stuff. I mean, his stuff sells, and I mean, I can sit here and critique him and make fun of him all I want to, but he's got like, I don't know, a couple million followers. So I mean, unfortunately, stupidity sells. Ryan has a soft spot for Scott Carpenter. um, uh, I, you know, I don't get me. You know how I feel about Scott. You know, like, look, I like Scott. I don't have anything against the man, really, on a personal level. I'm not trying to talk shit about him. I think he's been involved in some pretty legitimate stuff. Involved. Um, but yeah, he really takes it to a place where I can't follow. He recently became a part of one of the Facebook Bigfoot groups that I'm a part of, and I just had to. I was like, man, what are we in for now? Like, what type of stuff are we about to see? Yeah, off course is right. Can you guys see this picture here? This is one of the latest, most ludicrous dog, quote unquote, dogman pictures I've seen lately. I don't know what the hell that thing is. I don't think it's a dog man. I don't think it's anything. I think it reminds me of one of those like sort of puppets you might see in one of those old time puppet shows, something like that. I'm gonna tell you something. The moment that people start comparing Sasquatch to Nephilim, I'm out. I'm out of the conversation. I won't even indulge it. Like, I grew up in a religious surrounding, so even then, I had to go and research what the Nephilim were, where they come from. And you're telling me that this primate is now some fallen angel mixed with human DNA and blah 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 bullshit. So I like I said, when that conversation comes up, I'm out. Oh, Brandon, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Russian Yeti leaping through the woods when it comes from the right side of the screen and leaps to the left side of the screen. That's one of the most impressive pieces of footage I think I've ever seen. And I agree that it's 100% legit. I mean, it's not the only video that I find intriguing, but it is definitely one of them. Hey, Adventure Monty is here. Welcome. Well, to like I said, to indulge that theory, and I mean, to me, it's very much mythical anyway. But you have to believe that, you know, Lucifer was kicked out of heaven, and then his soldiers went with him, and then I forget that Ryan probably knows the name of the soldier that God, was it Bathel or something like that, that had a panache for human females, and then their children went on to. I think that's why God supposedly created the flood, was to get rid of these creatures, and some of them survived and then repopulated. It's just a whole thing, and it's a cute story, but give me a break. It's just a story. This one in particular, I think you guys have definitely seen this one before. This is a still shot of the creature that is chasing the car. I think the car was full of people. It had some people in it for sure, and they just turned this like cell phone camera around and started filming it. Is that one of them there Star Wars references? I don't like Star Wars. I'm probably the only person alive that doesn't like Star Wars, but here I am in all my glory. Cohen, welcome. Amulet. An amulet. Good for you, Cohen. Say it louder. No, Brandon, I have not. So why is Bigfoot wearing an amulet, and why is that pertinent? He did exactly what I asked. He said it louder. Good job. Jumping Jesus Christ Johnson, huh? Yeah, Monty, actually, we were looking at a couple CGIs earlier. Let's see if I can find something decent here to look at. See, there's some guy talking through all of these. Oh, yeah, this one. So, so can we talk about this picture? This one resurfaces just about every year. And it's supposedly from Boone, North Carolina. All right. Which I don't think that's supposed. I think it actually is from Boone, North Carolina. Um, this one has people just literally going ape shit. Every time it comes out, people just it's shared a million times. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at this!" and da 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 da. So, here's the truth behind this picture. That is a very well done plywood cutout. And if you look to its rear, you're going to see an arch, and that is the metal pole, the bent metal pole that's holding it in place. I do believe this is a picture of this guy analyzing it up close. So this guy, whoever this guy is, he obviously has a great sense of humor, but he's a jokester, and he put this thing up next to a major highway on his own property, and it caused such a stir that they sent somebody to go and figure out what the hell was going on. Like everyone called 911, and they went out there to figure out what was. I think he later did like a pink unicorn. He's done other stuff too, but this was like his first thing was this Sasquatch-looking creature. So. Oh yeah, there's a better shot of it. Oh wait, go back. There you go. Let's see. Coming up. Yeah, there you go. That's a pretty good shot of it. Yeah, right, Ryan. I was like, yeah, good for him, man. Like, I mean, he got everybody. I mean, yeah, the wall involved and everything. It's like, hey, it's on his own property. I want to tell you what, we were in Q and I were in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and we had a mountain, like a cabin in the mountains, and we were coming. It's windy mountain roads, beautiful area, whatever. And we were coming back. Either we got to the cabin late or something. I think we got late. We got there late, and it was dark. We came around a corner, and there's a probably 8 foot tall cutout that looks similar to this one, with a red reflector for an eyeball. This thing absolutely scared the shit out of me. Like I totally legitimately thought it was real. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, stop the car! I'm trying to get my camera out, and she's like, it's fake, honey. It's just. But I mean, it literally had me going. Oh, there you go. Boone Bigfoots. I like it. Although I'm not sure that that's the proper use of the plural form of Bigfoot, but we'll say it is. Oh yeah, this is another one from Eric James. If you guys haven't seen his stuff, he's got some pretty impressive captures. He is part of the Bigfoot World Group, as well as others, but I think that's where I know him from. Terrible picture. I don't know who this one is, but that is certainly a face. Don't know. I was supposed to say that's Swan Lake, maybe. I don't know. Still interesting. This one, falls under the too good to be true category for me. And I know people say like, "Oh, well, the pictures are too blurry," and then if they're not too blurry, then they're fake. Well, yeah, it's true. This one just doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't strike me as real. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't strike me as real. Something about it just doesn't sit right. And I hate the whole, oh, it's a man in a suit, it's a costume, but it does. It looks like a costume. It looks like it came from like some B-rated movie. I don't know. Nothing to see here, folks. And move along. The exposure on this one is going to be terrible because it is terrible, first of all. Then add in the fact that my cell phone is videoing this screen. This is that the Michigan river crosser that's like supposedly carrying a baby or something. Um, this is an awful picture, but I've seen better, and I still don't know. I still don't know what my opinion is on that whole video. Is that true, Brandon? Really? I mean, I respect David Paulides and his work. I question his psyche. I hate to say that. Um, his son obviously having the mental struggles that he had before he committed suicide, and now the after effects that David has got to be feeling having lost a son to suicide, and we don't know what mental issues were passed down genetically. There's a lot of questions there for me about Paulides, but yeah, gnomes. I don't. Again, I don't mean to sound closed-minded here, but gnomes kind of go into that same category as leprechauns for me. Um, Fairies, you know, uh, they all kind of fall into that same category as probably not real. Who knows? I guess. I love this picture here, and I'll tell you why. I don't love it because it's a Sasquatch or because it's a real cryptid or anything like that. I love it because when I posted this picture originally, I told everyone in the picture what it was, or everyone that was listening what it was. And this woman, I forget her name, she absolutely just steamrolled over me and kind of ripped me up one side down the other. Told me I didn't know what I was talking about, and I shouldn't be telling people these things, and I don't understand these creatures and their cloaking abilities and blah 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 blah. Okay, fine, she's not wrong, but what this obviously is a cornfield that used to have either a big thing of hay or a tree that I'm going to guess got struck by lightning, or it was at least set on fire somehow and burned its way up into the corn, all around itself, to the rear of it. And what you're looking at is the ash left behind, the stump, the charcoal left behind from this incident. and it just happens to have the shape of a cryptid, of a Sasquatch. You just kind of like, oh yeah, kind of. If you just glance at it, you're like, wow, that's a Sasquatch, but it's not. I love this picture just because of the amount of fight that I got about my opinion on the subject. You say Iceland moved a highway because of gnomes? Ugh. All right, Brandon, you hurt my feelings, man. Come on. Am I supposed to believe that? Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. Yeah, that woman was. It just told me I'm live. I'm like, I know I'm live. Did I ever stop being live? Well, Brandon, you can Google all sorts of things, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that everything you read in the papers are true. It almost sounds like some sort of joke, but I'd have to look into that more before I developed a solid opinion on it. But yeah, gnomes. Yeah, no for me, bro. Yeah, Ryan, I mean, I've had people accuse me of working for the BFRO, and um, one lady told me she was going to report me to YouTube for spreading false news. like, I, I'm not really you know much of a trumper. I don't know about false news, but fake news. But I mean, I call them like I see them. I don't really. Do you really? I mean, people get heated about it. It's like, dude, you don't really have a pony in the race, man. Like, they get mad about it though. This one is labeled. I think it's labeled truck footage. I don't know what the rest of that is supposed to say actually, but I remember this being a video that they caught this creature on the side of the road as they were going by, and I don't know if I think I cropped this one myself actually to try to get a look at just the creature in a still, and it's fairly impressive. Yeah, and it's like it's like don't not only keep your hands off my cryptids. It's their own personal view of cryptids and their own personal belief about cryptids. Their little stories that they keep close to their heart. About cryptids, and they know to be true, and they know that they use portals, and they know that they speak to them telepathically because they're special. And I think that's what it really comes down to is that everybody has this need to feel special. And if Sasquatch is talking to you telepathically, then you're the one. You're the special one that can hear it. And I've had people, when I look at pictures and I try to explain, like, yeah, well, that's just pareidolia because it's why we see Jesus on toast and, things like that. And they'll just be like, well, I'm sorry that you can't see it. And I'm like, no, I can see it. I just don't believe that everything I'm looking at is a cryptid or an angel. And I'm sorry, I just realized that you guys couldn't see that last picture at all. So. You know, it's funny you bring that up, Brandon. Actually, I have heard a story similar to that from what I would consider to be a pretty reputable source. That they followed tracks in the snow to the middle of nowhere, and the tracks just ended. And and that to me, I can't explain that. 20-inch track. That's a big track. Patty is a 16, by the way, if anybody finds that interesting. I only know that because my sweetie, my Q, bought me a replica of Patty's track, which is very cool. I don't know what this picture is. I think it's hard to rule out a bear in this picture. Although it doesn't really give me a bear vibe, it doesn't really look like a bear, but it is hard to rule it out. Actually, yes, I have. I'm going to take a very brief pause for the cause, guys, and I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see if there's anything interesting. There you go. I don't know what this is. Look at this. As promised, very brief. All right, Brandon, have a good night, man. All right, I'm gonna go check that out. Probably, well, definitely before the next time we're live. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is Scott Yeoman's picture from Bailey, Colorado, 2017. This is supposedly an 8-foot window. All right, guys, on that note, we are going to call it a night. And as always, thank you for joining us here at Bigfoot Input Live. We will have some new videos coming out very soon. I really appreciate everyone's support. And 10 foot is my number, Monty. 10. Once you get into the 12-foot range, then I cease to believe you at that point. But 10 foot. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys' support, and we try to do this every 2 weeks. I don't know if we will be here 2 weeks from now because we do have the Florida Bigfoot Conference the day after. I will do my best to try to make an appearance that night, and then, like I said, the next day we'll be at the conference. So, but we hope to bring back some cool stuff from the conference, to post on the channel. So, you guys stick around and see how that turns out. Good night, Kathy. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is J Mac, and I'm out.